It's been Buffalo cold in Knoxville for the last week.
It was 10 degrees in Texas, bud.
That's what I'm saying. It's wild. Me and Brock went ice fishing on my pond this morning.
You can walk on it?
Yeah, I went. I went. I went up to the farm the other day, and my Ranger tire was low. So I told Brock and Addison, I'm like, "Hey, I'm going down to the barn to get the air compressor, make you some hot chocolate or whatever, and I'll be right back." I come back, and they're not in the cabin drinking hot chocolate, and I look out the back door, and they're in the middle of the pond. And I'm just like, oh shit. I about had a heart attack. I'm like, number one, I'm going to kill Brock because I know he's responsible for this mess. So I go out the
Yeah.
back door and yell, and because once you go into that, and the whole thing went frozen because I have those fountains in there, but it was
Hmm.
still enough to, I mean, crazy shit happens.
Yeah.
But it's super thick. It never gets this cold in Tennessee, so the thing has never froze before. So they were just all fired up and excited. So this morning, I had a 6:15 kids class. But I woke him up at like 3:30, and we just drove up to. It's snowing here. Drove up to the farm, busted a hole in the ice. I walked out on it first because I was going to bust the hole, and it wasn't good. So so I was like, and I'm definitely not at my playing weight to say the least. But I'm like, oh shit, man, I'm gonna crush this. It's not good. So I got off fast. Well, slow fast. You know what I mean? Like panic, move
Yeah.
real slow, but as fast as you can move slowly. And then I was like, Brock, you need to get your ass out there. You're 70 pounds. I'm 270 plus a biscuit, and I'm like, we need to get your butt out there. So he went out there with a little like axe and popped a hole in it, and we didn't catch anything, but it was a memory. Ice fishing in East Tennessee, you don't get to do that every year. Well,
You're
pops,
breaking beds, and then you're breaking the ice as well.
no
Pops, you're too
question,
heavy.
no question. I broke the bed at your house, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
That's a funny story for the Hut. This is the Hut Hut podcast. Got that from Ryan
Hut
Fitzpatrick.
hut.
Hut Hut. This uh pops, but little quick tip. I go to Cole Beasley's house in Austin, Texas. He's a
Hmm.
Austin man now, pure Texan. Lived in every city in Texas at some point in his life. A little quick Cole Beasley story. Um, he puts me in his guest room. It was the off season, so obviously I wasn't at my playing weight, just like my fat ass is not at my playing weight right now. He puts me in his guest room. No funny business going on, at least not while this happened. Bed shatters straight to the floor. I,
All my good beds are still in Buffalo at the time, buddy. I got the big ones in there for you now, so they won't break anymore.
I love it. I love it. So speaking of Buffalo, how's it feel, brother, to be back?
Been good, man. Well received. Miss my buds. That was the main thing. I just miss playing with the boys. I don't know. It's cool to be back and in the environment. It's different. There's nothing like it once you're done. So it's just good to at least come back and hopefully enjoy this season. Last season wasn't much to enjoy, so
Yeah, we won't.
it's a
We
lot
won't.
better with all the shit going out the window, and now we can just play ball again.
No question. No question. Like I did an episode with Ryan Fitzpatrick last week, and we talked a little bit just about Sherm and his little episode and just how he, I said to Fitz, I said, man, like everybody else, like only their family typically gets to see the worst of them. You know, folks in the
Yeah.
real world, your wife and kids, you can't hide from them. I was watching this podcast one time, and I don't remember who it was, but somebody said, listen, you can hide from everybody else, but you can't hide from your wife and kids. They see the real you. It's the beehive mentality. Everything looks pleasant on the outside, but it's a beehive on the inside. And that's kind of what I said about Sherm is just how much I respected and him bouncing back from that, didn't let it define him, and he's gonna be successful the rest of his life and impact people, and that means a lot more than playing pro football. But I feel the same way about you. You stood up for something you believed in. It was definitely uncomfortable, and let's be real. It's the reason you weren't in Buffalo all season long, and things got kind of hairy, and just to be able to say, you know what, man, I'm coming back to my dogs, back to the snowy city. Hell with all that. It's in the past. It doesn't matter. We're going to move on because shit, man, with this world we live in now, folks can't, pucker up buttercup and just stand up for things they believe in the first place, much less be attacked and still come back on the other side and say, I'm back. I love you. Let's bury it and move on. Hell, that goes for marriage, friendship,
Yeah.
teammates, everything. It's pretty cool that you're back up there. And Alicia, I don't know, did they chant bees or something during the game, or maybe she was looking at, I don't know, she was looking at something the other day.
No, they did. They did. Usually they only do it when I catch it, but when I went in the first play I went in, they started yelling, and it was pretty cool. So
That's
that was
awesome.
awesome to feel that. But I just like to party, Dad.
Party pops. Well, you know Alicia loves you because she's like, oh, Dad, they're because my wife. She's like, oh, I hope everything goes good and hope he's well
Hmm.
received and all those things. And then, of course, you know how women are. She's on the social media looking at a few comments when you signed and it was all positive, and then when they loved on
Oh,
you.
there's a few. I'm sure there's a few in there.
I'm sure if you look deep enough, there's a few people, but
Yeah.
that's pro football for you.
Yeah.
But but it was all mostly positive, and then the game, she was all fired up, man. She was juiced. She was so happy for you and Kirsten and the kids and being back. So, but then it turns into a literal winter disaster.
Yeah, and it turns into blizzard. Now my kids are in the house doing nothing. They can't get out, so that's not what we want.
If
They're
only
driving mom and dad crazy.
if only you had the old mansion still, but that thing's long
Oh,
gone.
no. I know. I can't believe mom. They're so mad at me right now. Hey, anytime they bring it up, it's either Jovi or Dace, and they all say the same thing. They're like, "Dad, remember when you sold our house?" I'm like, "Yeah, just me. I sold it by myself."
And that was literally their favorite house y'all have ever had, huh?
Hmm.
That is awesome.
We passed it the other day, and Jovi's like, "There's our house."
You should just you should go knock on the door and be like, "Listen, I'll give you $10,000 to live here for 6 weeks. We can use."
You know what? They knowing how Buffalo people are, they'd probably say yeah, and then they'd probably just get all their shit, move out, and let me have it for a few months.
There's no
That's
question.
kind of how they are out here. But maybe I can just pay them to let me use their playroom for a little while.
There's no just be like, hey, listen, for 3 hours a day, can my wife and kids just come hang out and play in the playroom? How big's the house you're renting? I'm assuming it's a little place.
Oh yeah, it's. Let's just say where I'm humbling my kids a little bit.
Good, that's what they need.
They do need that big time, so it's all good.
I might bring my kids up there and drop them off with you.
Oh, we'll all be sleeping on the floor. You do that.
That is awesome. Did it come fully furnished?
Yeah, I did. That was the good news.
I love it.
Because I didn't rent it. It's an Airbnb.
Oh, so you're just doing you pay nightly, or you pay monthly.
I don't. Be honest. My wife did that for me, so I didn't have to do that.
Fair
So
enough. Fair enough.
I don't know how this stuff works in this new age.
What do y'all play Sunday?
Monday.
So what's that, the second?
I
Yeah,
don't know,
yeah,
Dad.
it is the second. I'm going down to Atlanta for for their New Year's game just to see Cordero and Taylor and all the kids and hang out and kind of like Buffalo. Buffalo and Atlanta are kind of the only two teams that I really feel like home when I walk in the locker room, just because there's so many familiar. Kind of like when you went back when I was up there a few
Yeah.
weeks ago. Just you see guys' faces light up when they see you. It's just there's no better feeling than getting back with the boys. There's so much turnover in the league. There's no team left. Even though I just retired this year, it's only Atlanta and Buffalo. So I'm gonna go down there and see those boys. And then now that Hayden Hurst is in Cincy, and I was up there over the summer hanging out with their tight ends a little bit. Hell, I might leave Atlanta and just come on up to Cincinnati and party with the boys. Why not? You only live once.
You might as well.
I'm coming.
I
Consider it
think
done.
I think that's what I think that's why Tampa was so tough for me when I got there at this point in my career and just kind of starting over with new dudes. It just didn't. I don't know.
Yeah,
Just a lot to be said about that, but it's way easier to come back here than it was to start somewhere new for sure.
no question. When I was in Atlanta, when I got to Atlanta last year, it was. I mean, Eric Harris was with me, and obviously Cordero was with me. So I had Keith Smith. I had a few. You remember Keith from the Dallas days,
Yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
Beef himself. But I had a few.
Yeah, I was about to say we called him Beef. I
Yeah,
barely even know his real name.
he's Beef. He's still Beef. Uh,
Yeah.
That's my favorite when people introduce themselves like, "What's up, man? I'm Keith," but everybody calls me Beef. I'm like, "All right, cool, Beef it is." And you always wonder, like, is my man just giving himself his own nickname, or did somebody else give that to him? Like, has it been there since high school, and this everywhere he goes, hey, just call me Beef?
Yeah.
But
I don't see. I don't even remember our introduction. I don't know if he told me his name was Beef or I just knew it was Beef because everybody else said it was Beef. So I don't
Beef's a,
know how that came about.
Beef's a good man. That's all that matters. But he was in Atlanta, so I had like three dudes, and then it was so close to home, and my kids were so old. It was like, had to leave practice and head to cheerleading and football, and I was living the life of a dad instead of being a young player that was trying to build too many relationships inside the building. I knew I was only going to be there for a year, but it was awesome, man.
Yeah.
It was awesome. The way they embraced me and the way I made friends at that place was cool. But absolutely, like walking back into that Buffalo locker room a couple weeks ago was special. And not to mention, you have the ultimate leader of men at quarterback, who's a 10-year-old child in a grown ass man's body, and and just the quality of that locker room is also what makes it so special. It's not cliquey. There ain't this group of dudes and that group of
No.
dudes, and
Yeah.
salaries doesn't define who's friends and all that bullshit. Like some the Dallas Cowboys and other places in the league,
Mm. Hmm.
it's like is my wife allowed to be friends with that wife because she's rich? Bullshit. The undrafted rookie's wife and Alicia Smith and Kirsten Beasley, they treat her the same. So it's a special place, man. It's just a special place.
Right. No. Yeah, for sure. And I don't know if that's. I don't know why that is. If it's the culture that was created here, throughout the locker room, or if that's just how it is being in Buffalo. So I don't know. Dallas had so many things pulling everybody each direction. It was
Yeah.
kind of like, I don't know. Once you were done at the facility, they had all this other stuff they had to do outside of there. But I don't know. Here you know how it is here. There's always something going on within the team where we always have something where guys are invited and their families invited. So that's kind of the cool thing about Buffalo and why I fell in love with it my first year here.
Well, there's no question, and I don't want to be a anti-cowboy guy. My dad played for the Cowboys. My brothers were born in Dallas. And there's a lot of teams like that, man. I talk to a lot of dudes that play everywhere. I don't care if it's wherever it is, and it's like, man, this place is special. Where I was before, it wasn't like this. You hear that all the time playing for the Bills, and I was there 6 years. But even as rookies, I get drafted to New England, I get cut at final cuts, and just show up on the doorstep for the Bills on the waiver wire, and they embrace me and my family from day one. So I don't, not to take anything away from Sean and Brandon, they've obviously built a hell of a deal up there, but it's just Buffalo,
Right.
man. I had
Yeah.
3 different head coaches playing there, and it never changes because there's literally nothing else to do. And just the blue collar nature of that place and just the way it's wired it trickles to the team. It's just cool, man. I'm glad you're back up there in your Paul Bunyan sweater.
Oh, you like that?
I do.
Keeps me warm, babe. Keeps me warm. It's cold out there.
It's terrible. What are you driving? Are you renting something?
Uh, Driving my buddy Dawson Knox's old truck. That old good old buddy of mine.
It's amazing how Tennesseans and Texans connect. It truly is.
Yeah.
There's something special about it.
Yeah. He's such a good dude. I rented one car, but then my family got here, so for a little bit, my wife was dropping me off at practice, and that was turning into a shit show. So I needed another one, and I don't know, for some reason I couldn't find a rental. So then Dawson told me his mom drove the truck down, but she was flying back, and he was like, "If you want, you can use the truck." And I was like, "All right, well, I'll do that." So I'm gonna get him something nice.
Do it. Do it. You're rich. Buy him something cool. Nothing like a Rolex or how about Breitling? Go down 4,000 or 5,000. I think that's fair for the pain and suffering he's saving your marriage alone from Kirsten not having to carpool your ass every morning.
Yeah, I would. That wasn't gonna be it, buddy. I'm glad we sorted that out, and he helped me out. I'll get him something good.
Plus, he's super rich now too, so that's the other good thing. Dawson Knox with
That's
with 2 trucks. Look at him.
Oh no, he's little guy's come up in the world, hasn't he?
I'm going to tell a funny story about Dawson. So we're rookies. He's a rookie. I was far from a rookie. But Gruden cut me in Oakland, thank God. We won't go down that rabbit hole. We'll save that for another day. But so I end up back in Buffalo, and Jerry Hughes is the only player left on the roster from when I was there the first time. So just to give a little NFL not for long turnover, Jerry Hughes, only player left. I come back, but everybody, all the familiar faces in the equipment room, upstairs, all the folks in the building, it was all the same. So it still felt familiar, even though the locker room was different. I knew what my drive to work was going to be like, et cetera, et cetera. But so they had drafted Dawson and Tommy that year, and we're in camp, and Dawson tweaked his hamstring, and he's like, "Man, you think I'm good? Like, you think I'm safe? Am I going to make the team?" And I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And it's so funny.
What round? What round did he get drafted?
Third. Yeah, he's a third-round draft pick, and I'm like, it's so funny because I remember being a rookie in New England with Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez, and the difference is I wasn't a third-round pick, and I wasn't a fraction of as talented as Dawson is. But still, just being a rookie, you remember your rookie training camp in Dallas? Hell, you don't know anything. And I just looked at him, and I'm like, bro, didn't they write you like $1 million check when they drafted you? Yeah, all right. Does any other tight end on this team freaking move around like you? No. Okay, what the hell are you talking about? Yes, you're going to make the team, and you're going to be a really, really rich man one day if you stay healthy. So stop worrying about that stupid shit. But it was just funny how the young cats, man, when you get to be an older dude, just the things they even think and say, because they just don't really understand it yet. But I'll never forget Dawson Knox, the new $13 million a year man, asking me if I thought he was going to make the team over a pulled hamstring in a training camp practice. I'm like, holy shit, man. No, I think you're good. I think you're safe. Just that's what I think. I'm not sure, but I think you can be all right.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
yeah.
Oh,
That's also what makes him though. He's a good humble dude, and he's even drafted in third round, got $1 million invested, and still thinks he has to bust his ass to make the team. So he'd rather that than a guy coming in and already thinking they got it made. You know what I mean?
no question. And that's why I love him, because he's the best. I don't think he ever scored a touchdown until he got in the NFL. That's what's crazy.
That is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
No question. I'm pretty sure he's a high school quarterback. He played like 2 or 3 games total in high school because he got hurt. Walks on to Ole Miss. Never scores a touchdown in college. I'll never forget his first touchdown in the NFL. It was awesome. That's my dog. He's the best. There's not many guys I've played with throughout my career that I would let marry one of my daughters. Obviously, if they were the same age. I'm not trying to be weird here.
For sure.
But Dawson Knox, no hesitation, 100% marries my daughter. Lee Smith or Cole Beasley, not happening.
Yeah.
No,
what are you talking about? I'm great.
You are great. You're a great dad, husband, father. Oh, man. But, yeah, Dawson's special. He's one of the most special dudes I've ever played with.
I love him.
So back in Buffalo with the boys, partying. So Vaughn's banged up. He's down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Jamison Crowder, is he still healthy?
No, he's. I don't know the exact timeline on that, but he might be back before we're done if everything goes according to plan. Obviously, he broke his ankle. That was early in the season, but he's running around. He's moving good, and I've always been a big fan of him. So we were talking the other day. I thought it was kind of cool how we've always been in the same division, always playing against each other. He was at the Redskins when I was at the Cowboys. I mean, he went to the Jets the same year I came to Buffalo, so I've seen him play a lot. I was a big fan of him in the slot. But it's cool that we're finally on the same team. It's kind of dope. And then I was his. I drew his name for Secret Santa also, so that was cool.
That's awesome, man. So you two OGs get to raise the most immature player in pro football.
Isaiah McKenzie?
100%. Which is awesome.
Yeah. He's doing good though, man. I'm proud of him, man. He's done a good job since I left, and he can do things that I can't do with his speed. So he's kind of a unique player to have.
Yeah, he's awesome. And immature was putting it nicely, just like Josh being a 10-year-old. That's what makes the team great. Like, you got these grown men that still just want to be kids and have fun, and it's like you're in a high school locker room with grown-ass men that are all great dudes. Like, Isaiah McKenzie could babysit my kids anytime. Josh Allen could babysit my kids anytime. Stephon Diggs. Yeah, I mean, I can go down the list. There ain't a player on the team that I feel bad about. Hell,
Right.
Dawson and Tommy used to babysit my kids.
Hmm.
My kids still talk about how much beer Uncle Tommy drank while he babysat. So thank God Dawson was there. So
They said that about Sweeney.
yes, yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. He
I
had
love
he
that.
had Brock fetching him beers all night. Dawson stayed sober, I guess. So Lord have mercy. But that's what makes pro football great, man. It's unbelievable.
Dude, I think Ace would freak out if Dawson was his babysitter for a night. He would love that.
I don't know. See, I was the veteran. So I don't know if you did it, but I had good veterans when I was younger, so I didn't have like the $20,000 rookie dinner bullshit. You know what I mean? Like they were good to me. They understood that
I didn't either.
yeah. So I never, and even if somebody would have done that, well, they probably wouldn't have been able to do that to me because I would have probably fought over it. I had a wife and 3 kids my rookie year, so I wasn't spending that kind of money on a goofy dinner. But um, I never did that to my young guys, but always forced them to do things that were free and helped me out. Um, Babysitting was one, so I don't know if Dawson's still in the babysitting game. He's not a rookie anymore, and like I said, his new big payday. But if he would do it for anybody, he would do it for you. So just tell him one time for old time's sake. I talked to Lee. I need one night of babysitting for my kids, so me and Mom can go out on a date. I bet he'll do it. Tommy would
The
for
thing
sure,
is,
but he won't stay sober.
oh, oh yeah. Thing is, Jovi wouldn't let him breathe. She'd want him to hold her the whole damn time.
That's all right.
Dude, since they've been here, since we got back these last 2 days, I haven't been able to go anywhere without that little girl, man.
It's
Then
awesome.
last night, she woke up like twice. I went and got in her bed, and then Mom woke me up to come back in the bed, and then I ended up back in Jovi's bed somehow and woke up in that bed. So since I've been home, I haven't been able to breathe.
It's awesome. That's awesome. I'll tell you this, not to sound like the old man, but the other night, me and Alicia were laying on the couch. I don't know if it was Christmas night or it was last night, and the only person that wanted to hang out with us was Addison, and she's 9
Yeah.
now. I'm pretty sure she's 9. Yes, she's 9. And I looked at her and I said, "Damn, man, I don't want her to grow up. Like she's the last one that actually wants to be around us. The rest of them are playing PlayStation with their friends, or Brody's trying to hang out with a buddy. Amanda's a preteen, so she's chilling in her room doing her thing, and Addison's the only one. Like I remember when they were younger, we couldn't get them away from us, and now it's like
Yeah,
once
I
when
guess you're right. Just tell me to quit bitching, Lee. Oh
uh,
shit, I'm not ready for that. I want my kids to love me forever and
bro,
always want to be around me.
bro, it's terrible. Like it's like what can you do for me? Like Brock loves Dad when he wants to go ice fishing, but if I'm like, hey man, just
Yeah.
sit here and watch a show with me. Like when he was 3, he'd sit in my lap for hours. Now he's like, Dad, I don't want to watch this shit, man. Let's go get some hot dogs.
You're right. Still get a chili cheese coney, man.
No question.
Uh,
Alicia just sent me a thing yesterday that said kids that eat 12 hot dogs or more a month are extreme high risk for leukemia. And
what?
and I don't know if it's true or not. You know, anybody can post shit on the internet. Maybe it's true. Who knows? But I'm like, damn, man, this hot dog place right next to Triple F. Brock lives in that place. I got to cut him back on the hot dogs. I told him he was devastated. He's like, I was like, man,
Oh, hey, the internet ruins my life. All right,
no question.
there's always something my wife's finding on there that something that we're doing that we need to stop doing. I'm like, man, just stop reading that shit. I'm trying to live my
No question. And 30% of it's bullshit.
life. Yeah.
Like, I could go on the internet right now and post something that said red flannel shirts increase depression by 70%. and
Sure
and
you could. It couldn't have say that. It couldn't say that though. My this thing makes me happy when I put it on. There's no way.
of course it does, but it's bullshit. That's my point. Is like I can post something that's complete bullshit, and 10,000 people. Well, no, but 10,000 people wouldn't see my shit. But let's say I was actually famous. Thousands and thousands of people would go throw away all their red flannel shirts, and it's complete bullshit.
Yeah,
Now, I'm not saying the
it's
hot dog thing is bullshit. I'm far from a medical expert, but
I hope it is. Let me tell you something. When I retired, when I went home from Tampa Bay, the next 3 days I had a foot long uh, chili cheese coney with mustard on it from Sonic. 3 nights in a row.
isn't it awesome? And you loved every
I love
second
those
of it.
things. Love them. Route 44, cherry vanilla Coke. Just I was living for 3 days. I really thought I was retired, bro.
How'd retirement treat
So
you?
it was good. I don't know. I was just kind of trying to figure out what to do after that, because I really thought I was retired and I thought I was good with retirement, but I didn't really retire because I didn't want to play anymore. I retired because I didn't want to be in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
When you're doing not to knock them, but I've never done that many plays in one day in my life. My NFL career, well, maybe since I don't even know if I did that in college. So um, it was a lot, and then just going back and starting over again, it just didn't seem worth it at the time. But I don't know. I think I might have had like close to 30 to 40 plays in one practice, man, with special teams and scout and doing the reps with Tom. I was just like, well, 33 years old. I don't know if the old legs are gonna make it through this one. I'm going back home. See you later.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't know. I got
I did more plays in one day there than I've done in 2 weeks here. Let's say that.
yeah, yeah. And at your
Yeah,
age, and it's hard because it's like, and once again, who's the coach down in Tampa now? Bowles, right?
bowls. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like I'm definitely not gonna be the coach basher, the player basher, or anything. There's nothing I hate worse than former players that get on and start bashing dudes. I think the brotherhood is sacred, but at the same time, the brotherhood to me is really the players, and
yeah,
and it's like at a certain point, when you've played a decade, you earned the right to have a little respect and care for your body, especially in the middle of the
right.
season. So I went down to Atlanta with Arthur Smith, and of course that's my dog, my tight end coach Justin Peel, who also played 10 years, and he was a try-hard white guy just like me, just scratching tooth and claw to a 10-year career, being a tough guy. And he looked at me one day and he's like, I don't even want to know how much money you're making because you're robbing this place. Like you do nothing. he was so mad
Yeah.
because I think he
Uh,
played his 10th year in San Francisco for like Harbaugh, and he said he just the same thing had to do the scout team and just everything as a 10-year veteran, and he's just looking at me and he's like, man, you asshole. But Arthur was big on like once you earn the right to be in the league that long, which is so rare. He's like, I'm not, I'm gonna take care of you guys. So that's why
yeah,
Arthur.
it's not that I'm scared of work, but at a certain point, like you said, it's just hard to go backwards, and
No
start
question.
start somewhere else again. I'm not. I feel like I've earned more than that, but it is what it is. But retirement was it was cool trying to figure out kind of where I wanted to go there for a little bit, but um, I love the little league stuff. That was the most fun I had, and that kind of brought me back to ball a little bit, doing flag football with Ace, and he's wrestling. So that shit always brings me joy to watch him dominate little kids. Like reminded me of old Lee Smith because that wasn't really my forte growing up. So watch him do that's pretty cool. And
That's
little Everett's getting into t-ball, watching him kind of grow up. So I did kind of get comfortable with retirement a little bit, and I think that made Tampa Bay a little harder as well. But
and have you
I don't know. Not all of us can just go back home and start up a big old gym, be a big old politician like my buddy Lee.
uh, and
I
that's the
was in I was in no rush to do anything else, buddy.
yeah. But you know me, man. I can't sit still. I got to be go, 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 go. So I knew myself, and I knew that for Alicia and my kids' sake, if I didn't want to turn into an absolute disaster, I had to have something I could transition to keep me going and chasing shit. Um, like Mama B's, she gets the luxury of old dad being able to hang out around the house and just chill. Like I literally am incapable of doing that, bro. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like I
Well,
wish,
I can do it. I can do it to a certain extent. I still have to find stuff to. I mean, like I said, I was playing basketball and shit twice
yeah,
a week, so that gave me a little. At least I could still compete a little bit doing that. So that's
yeah.
fun for me.
You just do a much better job than me at being present and just chilling with your family. Is what I'm saying. Like I've watched you do that for years, and I try to be better about that. But sometimes my mind's distracted, and I have to work on that of figuring out a way to just chill. And I've been trying to do it on Sundays lately, just take a Sabbath day and just chill with my family because I know that's somewhere that I'm flawed for sure. But yeah,
And we all have trouble doing that sometimes, bro. We're
no question.
football players. We
No
want to
question.
we want to be out there just ripping people's heads off, and well, for me, shaking guys and getting open and shit and catching balls,
Shake and bake.
taking a big lick, and getting up. I
No
enjoy
question.
doing that shit.
No question. There's a for all of us like when you're an ultimate competitor, like there's a different thrill for you
Hmm.
and Stephon Diggs in the way you dominate compared to the way like I would dominate in a game.
Right.
It's just a much different world. But when that domination happens, whether you're shaking somebody out of their shoes or making a big, it's got to be crazy. Like me, 3rd and 1, just run behind me. That's kind of how I always felt. Whereas you, it's like
Yeah.
3rd and 8, which is when all the big money is made, and I'm standing over there with pom poms in my hand, saying "Go Bees." But 3rd and 8, it's like you're staring at a dude, and you're like, "You ain't got a chance, pal. Good luck." But and that just once the ball hits your hands, there's just nothing like that in the real world. And that's what I try to tell folks is like, it's not that these dudes are bad dudes, man. I'd let most of them babysit my kids. Like these guys are the best
Yeah.
human beings on the planet, but you can't get in a fight over a ping pong match and then have lunch together at Merrill Lynch. The real world isn't built for assholes like us. So
We're a little off for sure.
a little off. You running to hit somebody full speed with your head. Yeah, it's messed up. But speaking of old Triple F, Jim, when you coming to see me?
Hopefully soon. I mean, Ace asked me probably every other week when we're going to Tennessee. So I gotta get my buddy up there. He misses his buddy Brock.
Go win you a Super Bowl and then come down here and check this place out. I want to show you what I'm doing just because of the nightmare that youth sports has turned into since we were kids.
Oh,
Like,
I've experienced it with already, and my kid's only freaking 8. It's crazy.
like what happened to letting kids be kids?
Yeah, it's insane. It's like I hate that when I go back to Austin, it's like Ace is like those kids have been playing. Our lives are different. We're moving all over the place. It's hard to like when I'm in Buffalo, Ace isn't playing anything, or Everett's not playing anything right now. It's just they're just hanging out and being kids right now. But when I go back there, they've already had their kids in all these sessions, these private sessions with these trainers for baseball, and they're absolutely nuts about football and baseball in Austin. So like to catch him up, it's like I gotta start trying to do that stuff, and I'm like I don't want to do all that. I want him to play all the sports that he wants to play and kind of move from one to the next. That's how I did it when I was young, and like I had a blast doing it. Now I feel like they're taking it too serious too early, and I feel like most kids are going to be burnt out. They don't have a like it's like they can't really build the love for anything just because you're pounding them in the ground at it. So it's crazy to see, but and they think you only got to do one sport to be good at it. So I don't know, it's kind of wild. Everybody thinks their kid's going pro. I told Ace one time, I was like, dude, out of all these kids you're playing flag football with, there's what maybe I don't know 300. There might be one that goes to the NFL, and that's it. I was
Period.
like, that's how unlikely it is for them, even if they're doing it every day. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot more that goes into it than just having the skill. That it's mindset and mentality, and I don't know. The parents don't really understand that stuff.
And it's unfortunate because, like, at Triple F the other day, I asked the kids just straight up. I said, "When was the last time one of y'all climbed a tree?"
All
Like,
right.
like, and of course, none of them, half of them have never climbed a tree, bees. And it's like we're in East Tennessee. There's trees everywhere. It's not like
Yeah.
I'm in Arizona, in the middle of the desert or something. And it's not that there's not trees in Arizona. I don't need all the haters out there talking shit. I realize there's trees in Arizona, but my point is there's trees everywhere that are climbable in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Right.
And when was the last time you just ran through a creek or just played outside until your mom or dad had to come yelling for you?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to build here is just an atmosphere that like yeah, it's elite athletic development because of the team I have and understanding of what it looks like to grow as an athlete, but letting
Hmm.
them be kids and most importantly, let them learn how to outwork each other. Like, if nothing else, you better be able to outwork the guy standing beside you and working beside you, because if you can't do that, whether sports works out or not, life's going to kick your ass.
Right.
And instead, we got all these 9-year-old one sport athletes, and I'm just like, holy shit, man! Like, go to a professional football game, and every dude in that locker room, for the most part, played multiple sports growing up.
No shit.
The
Yeah, all of them.
the hand eye coordination, the tracking the ball, the not only that, but the different body movements that other sports do. Like, I watch you play football, you're playing basketball half the time out there at receiver,
100%.
and it's like, Stevie Johnson from when I was young, even Steph, like all those extra sports and all those times, just learning how to jump out of a tree and the impact of your feet hitting the ground strengthens your
Yeah.
body, and
Hmm.
it's just crazy that everything's kind of shifted. But I promise you one thing: at old Triple F Gym, we're gonna party, and I'm gonna teach these kids how to do things the right way, to where when they're here, it's not just some trainer beating in their brain that they need to play one sport only to go pro.
No.
Guess what, homie? You're not going pro. Like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So so
Yeah.
so like, let's be kids and play as much sports as we can and develop as much memories as we can. Now, listen, Brody Smith goes into high school this year. He's going to be a basketball and football player. He's not going to be basketball, football, track, baseball, wrestle. At the end of the day, once they get a little older, I think you pick two. That's my opinion. And
Right.
that way you have two full seasons of multiple sports, multiple body motions, multiple movements, and then you get extreme downtime. And during that downtime, come on down to Triple F Gym. Let me get at you. But besides that, like, during that
Yeah.
downtime, you need to be a kid, man, because once you're in the real world, there's no more kid time. There's no more playing with your buddies, or leaving the house. I want to be staring at my clock like, this sucker better be home on time. I don't want to know all the time he's sitting in his damn room on the PlayStation. Like, I want to be wondering,
Yeah. No
like,
shit.
like I wonder if he's going to come home with barbed wire marks all over him. That's so.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it's crazy. But I can't wait to get you on here and show you this. Like, we're training these kids down here, bro. Like, they play for
Hmm.
the Buffalo Bills. It's freaking awesome. Full plan, 12 months a year. It's awesome. Just make sure you're here on a Saturday, and
Yeah.
because our kids program is is freaking awesome on Saturday mornings. Me and Darius run it, and the kids just party, because once again they're kids. Like, I'm not taking a 6-year old and giving him the product that our older kids get. Now, I got parents calling me, bro, with 7 and 8-year-old kids asking about becoming members at Triple F, and I'm just like, holy moly! Teach them how to ride a skateboard and climb a tree, and call me back in 3 years.
No
Like,
shit. Right.
right? And by the way, on Saturday mornings we offer a kids program, and we're going to give them a small taste of what Triple F is, and then when they're 11, they can join, and we'll truly show them how to train like elite athletes train, and make a plan for their
Hmm.
bodies long term. But when they're kids, man, I'll give you one day a week to let your kid come over here and party, because the atmosphere is awesome and my staff's awesome, and I want these young kids to be able to, taste it and be a part of it when they're younger. I don't want them to miss out on it. But a full plan around their already crazy schedule at 7 years old is just wild. So both your boys, bring them on Saturday morning. It'd be awesome. Let them potty.
Do you do like one-on-one stuff with people, or is it always like a group setting?
It's always group, because I wanted it to feel exactly
See,
like
no, that's
pro
yeah. I
football.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell people all the time. I'm like, listen, me and Cole Beasley are the best of friends. We're both pretty much the same age. On a Tuesday morning for a workout, we both just played a game 2 days ago. We both are football players. We're both in our 10th, 11th seasons. But that doesn't mean that me and Cole Beasley are doing the exact same workout on Tuesday morning. But we're in a group together doing it. So
Yeah.
that's what I have around here. Is it's just like me and you training in Buffalo. Like, you're 5 foot
Yeah.
11. I'll give you a little extra room there.
I like
what
I
are you
like
pushing,
that.
Bees? About 5'11", 6 foot, 190 pounds.
Oh yeah,
But
soaking wet. Let's get it.
but with your red flannel and your cowboy boots, 190. So like, we're together. We have that fellowship. We have that brotherhood. We have that competition. But we're doing very similar workout. There's only so many ways to work
Right.
out, to stay healthy and stay strong during the season. But at the end of the day, I'm 150 pounds bigger than you, and I'm a big stiff guy. You got to be able to fluidly move. I got to be able to grab people and not let them go. So even though we're in the same group doing the same things, our workouts might differ a little bit. So that's how we operate around here. All groups, all highly competitive, but everybody kind of has their own little system depending on how old they are, what time of season it is, what sport they play, all that stuff.
Yeah, but that's cool though. It's more fun to do it together, man.
No question.
Yeah.
Like, and once again, let them be kids. Like when like my kids that go to rival schools are in here, all they do is talk trash to each other. So it feels just like the NFL. It feels like me standing over there at Micah trying to ruin his day, which you've heard many times, and
Yeah.
or me giving Tre'Davious shit all the time about whatever he's got going on. So that's what I wanted. I wanted an atmosphere that was just like pro sports. My facility is just like pro sports. My staff is just as good as any staff I've ever had in pro sports. And then boom, I get kids from all different schools trying to lift more than each other, talk trash to each other. So it's awesome, man. It's fun. But all
That's
groups.
cool. They don't even. I don't even think they really understand. Yeah, that they're getting that. So it's cool that you're explaining that because I mean that's something that I didn't really get to experience as a kid. So that's cool that you're kind of like they don't even know, but they're getting to experience what an NFL locker room is really like, and I don't know, it's awesome.
It is awesome, man. And you need to get down here and help me. Cole Beasley moving to Tennessee. Also decided
All
on
right, book
December
it.
27th. Or
Yeah. Well, hey, you gotta find me. You gotta find me a hunting ranch out there, buddy. So I can move my whole family out there.
I got you. You can move on my place.
Yeah. Uh,
Well, pops, I
you,
love you.
you let me live on the you're gonna let me live on the farm.
Absolutely. I'll sell you. If you move to Tennessee, I'll sell you the farm.
How are the deer out there though? There's not many deer out there, are there?
Whitetail. A big deer in Tennessee is uh, a small deer in Texas. I will not lie to you. But that's beside the point. No mule, no axis, no nothing. Just whitetail. All right, fine. Stay in Texas. Cole Beasley announced today that he's going to spend 2 weeks a year in Tennessee
All right, I
with
love
his
it.
with his family over the summer on Smith Family Farm and let his kids party.
Partying hard.
I love you, pops. We'll let you finish your NFL career. However, we got like 5 years or so. So once you're 40
Yeah,
years old
I
and
don't.
finally retire for good, then we'll have us a little COVID podcast when you're not in the middle of the shit anymore. We'll go down the old rabbit
We
hole,
can. You
me and
know what?
you.
We can have whatever podcast you want, Lee Smith.
I,
Whenever you want.
I know
It
it.
can be right now.
I know that. But I love you. I'm not trying to throw you to the wolves again. So one quick item for the old podcast here. So my man Bees and Mama Bees getting into a little scuffle. So here's what good friends do, ladies and gentlemen. When you're truly family, you text your buddy's wife and you say, "All right, mom, take it easy on my old pal. Let him go hoop one more time, ball out, try to get a ring, and then he'll come on
Hmm.
home." So Mama B says, "All right, Lee, I love you. We're like family, obviously, all of us. I'll let Dad go out on his own." Now she gets to drive by her mansion to her Airbnb in East Aurora, miserable as shit. So she's gonna kick my ass next time I see
Oh no,
her.
she appreciated that though, and I
uh,
appreciated that from you, buddy, because that helped me out a big time. Did me
oh,
a solid.
that's so bad. But it's hard to find friendships like we find in the league, man. Like I said, no offense to everybody out there at Merrill Lynch, but when you're truly staring at each other in a huddle on the 12th play of a drive, like I can't feel my legs, I can't breathe, I don't know how the hell I'm going to play this next play. The defense all just rotated their entire D line, so those some bitches are fresh as daisies. And I'm just going to give you all I got, bro. And I'll buy the red wine later at Mulberry. Like it's just such an intimate, wild. I've never had to bury any of my friends, so I hate the military to football comparison, but it's
Yeah,
sure similar in just the awesomeness and the things we go through. The military is the only other guys in the world that I think can truly understand it. So it's
no question.
pretty awesome, pops. I love you, man. I miss you.
I love you, buddy.